Hey everybody, Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich here. We're watching for the risk of a few isolated storms tomorrow. I will caution you that some folks may not see any rain at all on Thursday, and the overall risk is really low. I'll kind of explain because it's hard to imagine the risk is low when you see what's going on off to the west here. And you can see on the radar here, let me refresh this real quick. There we go, pops up real quick. You can see all those storms, pretty impressive looking line there. From Cincinnati all the way back down to about New Orleans. We've got some bowing segments in there. There are a couple tornado warnings currently in effect for this line. I'll show you all those tornado warnings. You can see those currently in effect. That's a pretty nasty line. So naturally you think, oh man, this thing's heading our way, right? Well, not so fast. What's happening here, erase that real quick, is that some of the energy is actually kind of moving around. So a lot of the energy here is starting to move up into this direction, and this energy is kind of outracing it. So while the front is here, it's going to come through with that energy kind of diverging around the Carolinas. And I'll show you the severe weather risk for tomorrow. We'll show you the outlook here. For tonight through about 2 a.m., that's where the severe weather risk is tonight. Tomorrow, you could see a majority of the areas in that low end risk, and I would say this is at the very, very low end part of this because the potential is probably going to be a little higher to the east. Overall, pretty low risk, and then on Friday, you see the risk redeveloping back to the west. That's with our next system, which could bring us rain over the weekend. Here's a look at our impacts. Again, overall, the risk is low, but if we are going to see a severe or strong thunderstorm, you could see winds, but I will tell you, hail, while not a huge risk, is a little bit higher than we've seen recently. This is kind of an interesting hail setup. And again, I'm not talking giant hail. I'm talking probably, half-inch pea-sized hail kind of setup. So let's look at the future cast. We'll start with the wide view first. You see the big system heading our way. And I want you to notice as the front gets closer, it kind of fizzles. The energy kind of goes north. There's a little perk up in the activity tomorrow night as it pushes to the east. But overall, the front kind of just pushes through and it's done. And then we see storms developing to the west on Saturday morning, but those dive to the south again. So rain chances for us are probably pretty minimal even on Saturday. So why are the risk for severe storms so low tomorrow? Well, it has a lot to do with wind energy, but also that thunderstorm fuel is pretty low across the area. There's a little perk there right around 3 o'clock. Now you see some heavier amounts here. The problem is the front's like this, the orientation of the winds is like this. That's not a really good setup for a lot of moisture advection, or what we call transport into the area. So while there is some cape, there just isn't the moisture there to really kick this off. And because the front is kind of doing one of these, it's not a really good setup. The front was coming in like this and the winds were coming like this. That'd be a much better setup. So the overall structure of this storm is just frankly weaker as it pushes to the east. And that's reflected in the future cast if we go in close. So tomorrow, going to wake up probably pretty dry, southwest winds, some clouds, some sunshine. Again, I think warm if the sun comes out. Can't rule out a stray shower early, but I'm going to stop this right around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And again, there likely will be a broken line of showers, probably a couple rumbles of thunder. But as you notice it pushing to the east, a couple cells perk up. By 3 o'clock, there's a couple cells up here that are worth watching, but really isolated in nature overall. I notice some areas could stay sunny all day. So there's a good chance some of you might not see a drop of rain tomorrow. And as it pushes towards the evening, that's kind of it. So look at the timing there. If you got outdoor plans, probably 2, 3 o'clock is when it starts to, the chance goes up, and then sticks around through about 6 or 7, then dissipates and moves out fairly quickly. So, overall the risk is pretty low. So if I look at the hour by hour forecast for tomorrow, I think it tells a really good story of when these storms are most likely. You can see early in the day, not a whole lot going on, but after 3 o'clock till about 7 p.m., you could see those rain chances between 50 and 70% in that time frame. So that would be the timeline that I'm looking at. And as we look ahead to the weekend, it's a big holiday weekend, Passover on Friday, Easter Sunday there. I'm going to take off my head so you don't block it there. You could see on Saturday, probably an isolated shower. And by Sunday, sunrise services could be a bit chilly for some of our likings, temperatures in the 50s, but by the afternoon, partly sunny, up around 70 degrees. So all in all, not bad. We'll keep an eye on those shower chances Saturday, but I really don't think it'll be a big deal. So we'll keep an eye on this risk tomorrow, but this is one of those days where you can probably breathe a little bit better that it's not a huge risk, and thank goodness, nothing like we're seeing to the west.